Good morning. Happy Documented Faith Friday. It is Friday, May 5th today, and hope you're having a good May so far. I am a little unprepared for today, but decided to just show up and do the video because I've been traveling and I have been fighting the sinus infection. I am on some new, not new, but I'm taking antibiotics that are the size of submarines. So my doctor assured me that by the time I get on an airplane on early Tuesday morning, I'd be good to go. So I was a little sluggish this week after being in Arkansas last week for sister camp. That was a really good week for me. One, because I don't just go to retreats to go. I go to teach, I go to serve, and I don't go to relax. So I definitely want to thank Dawana and her crew for taking care of me. And in return, I got to teach stitching, and it was a really great week. And it was a really great week too, because this new month for May, the word is trust. And I was having to practice trusting. While we were there, they got like a history amount of rain in like the 3 days. And historic, whatever. And then we kept getting, even though we had really kind of broken up cell coverage, we kept getting storm reports or storm warnings or flash flood. I wasn't worried about the flash floods because we were on the top of a mountain, so we were not in that danger. But when the tornado take shelter warnings came through, my knees were a little shaky, but where we were staying was very sturdy. The windows weren't shaking, and it was really windy and really rainy, more than I've ever experienced in my life. It was, I was geeking out at the thunder and lightning and rain and wind, but the windows weren't rattling, the cabin, the lodge was not moving. Dawana and her people were very calm, and kind of as a growth indicator for myself, even at one point, and I wasn't feeling super good, I took a nap during the storm. And I was talking with Lisa about it this morning, and I thought, oh, that was really brave of me to take a nap during this big storm. And then it dawned on me just prior to this video that usually I just kind of disappear. I sneak off, and you can usually find me napping. But I didn't tell anyone. And it just dawned on me this morning, what if they would have all had to cram in this little closet where we were shown to go, and they didn't even know I was taking a nap? So they could have forgot me, but I knew they wouldn't. So anyway, it was a good growth indicator, a good example to experience trust that, okay, we're gonna be fine. The only thing that I'm sure it's not just me, I trust in the big things. North Korea shooting off missiles does not worry me. Donald Trump being our president does not worry me. Earthquakes worry me, but whatever. But if I'm going to be late to the airport, or if I'm going to be late to board an airplane, or my luggage doesn't come down that thing quickly, or if I think I've messed up a flight arrangement, or I miss a call from Ben to, I need gas money, can I come home and get some real quick, and I miss that. Or like the little insignificant things, I buckle, or I start to buckle. The little insignificant things and this may have to do a little bit or maybe a lot with my anxiety right now. But it makes me short of breath. It makes me short of breath even talking about it right now. Makes my knees wiggle, makes my hands wiggle. I kind of get into this cycle where I can't think or I can't make decisions because it has knocked me off my axis. You thought I was going to say the A word, huh? Knocked me off my axis. It's like a merry-go-round that's going and going and going and going, and if it's knocked off, it's going to become a whirling dervish. And so that's when I start to overthink and I start to overwhelm myself with not what ifs, but just a lot of random miscellaneous thoughts. One thing leads into another, and it's a really vicious, tumultuous cycle to be in. And I am starting to really pay attention and learn that, okay, I know what's happening. I'm not going to let this derail me. If I have to point at my finger and say, hey, knock it off. Or like, I can't physically take and shake myself, but I could have someone like slapping my face or shaking me like, it's gonna be okay. Those things are the things that are eating me alive. And again, this may have to do with the anxiety. I'm working on that. Like I said a couple weeks ago, I'm getting weepy. I'm eating well. I'm moving well. I am praying well. I am sleeping well. And these little tiny, they're almost like that Mucinex commercial. It's like those big blobs of snot or ants or flies. Like they just come in and they overwhelm you very quickly. And I have to remember to just trust on what I know and trust in the truth and just ride the wave. That was one of the things we were talking about at Sister Camp, was just riding it, recognizing that it's happening and then riding it. And so I feel like even when I said I'm very unprepared for today, I'm not unprepared. I have been working on trust, and I have tons of Bible verses, and I have quotes, and I have my notes, and I have all of these things that even if I can't just pull one out of my head as a reminder, I have notes that I can go to, and I can remind myself in those moments where I feel like the wind is knocked out of me, and if I let my mind take control, I'm gonna hit a wall. So I have to reflect on my notes. So one of the things that I posted a couple weeks ago that is a $5 download are the daily 5 sheets, and I'm going to show you my binder right here real quick. I have a bunch of them already in here that have been filled out. Something new that I'm introducing today is kind of like, okay, let me back up. I'm rereading the book, The Artist's Way. If you've never read it, and I thought I had it in front of me, I do. It's by Julia Cameron. If you've never read this, regardless of whether you think you're an artist or you're creative, probably if you're watching this, you are one of the two. I highly suggest this book. I've read it before and I'm reading it again. It's one of those you can go back over it year after year and get something different out of it. And there's a practice in here called morning pages, where she teaches you or tells you, she's like the boss of you at that point, to dump your brain out onto paper daily. Get up, it's the first thing you do. If you get up and you pray and then do your pages, if you do your pages and then pray, or however you do it, I am going to work this into Documented Faith pretty persistently, consistently, because it works. You can't explain it. You can't, I can give you examples all day long, but you've got to do it. You've got to do the work and invest a little time into doing it. She suggests doing 3 pages a day, a morning. And I'm working in a composition book, which for me, I have bigger writing, I have lots to say or think about or dump out. That's the thing, is you don't have to worry about spelling, you don't have to worry about grammar, you don't have to worry about complete sentences. You're dumping your brain out to clear the clutter. And you can also do it to pray, or you can do it to make your list. But the thing is that you make a habit of doing it. Just put your pen down, and even if you don't know what to write, you can write, I don't know what to write, for 3 pages, but you do the 3 pages and it becomes a habit. And I want to like promise you that it's effective. That's a good word for it. Anyway, what I'm leading to is this week I have a new $5 download, and it has to do with trust, but also there are pages. There's a page, and there's 2 printouts on the page like this that mine are already cut and punched. But these could be your daily pages. I'm calling them kind of like surrender daily, because I am finding that each morning, even regardless of my morning pages, I need to surrender everything every day. And not just like, okay, here's my anxiety, and here's my depression, and here's my to-do list, and here's all my piles, and here's my blah, blah, blah. Here are my kids, here's my husband, here's my job, here are my dreams, here are my hopes. Passing it all over, because he can handle it. We can't. I can't. Maybe you can, or you think you can, but you really can't. Not by yourself. So anyway, the $5 download, you get a sheet with these 2 pages that once you download it, you can right click and then save as, and save this page so that you can print out, you know, if you want to, print out 30, print out for the whole month, so that you have enough pages. I printed out a bunch. I punched holes in them to go in my binder. I put some washi tape on the edges, and use these as your daily pages, or use a composition book, or use a post-it note, but 3 pages worth. And then also on the download are a bunch of words. And you know, I should have just had the whole sheet so I could show you, but I printed mine out on cardstock. So here's one, do not give up. This one that my sweet friend Honey Holden taught me, what are you trusting Jesus for today? We need to print this out like 30 to 31 times a month, and then say it and do it. A bunch of surrenders, because we have to constantly surrender. Trust, and then I am with you. So for instance, on my little sheet for suggestion was, I printed out my sheet. I wrote about surrender, and I'm going to read that in a second, because surrender has to do with trust. We have to trust. If we trust fully in God, then we can surrender everything to Him, and then He'll take care of it. And we can go on doing what we need to do, but growing in knowing that we're going to be okay. So anyway, I use little foam dots, you can see there, so it's kind of raised up. It's like an embellishment. But this is just a way for me to write out my blah, 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 and then put it in my binder. So I'm going to read what I wrote about surrender. Start each day with it and end each day with it. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Not just a little of this and a little of that, but I have to give it all away. True freedom comes when we let all go and give it to God. Surrender your troubled heart, confusion, conflicts, and watch His peace take over. And then I put a little star that says, we will forget to do this, so make it a daily habit to start each day with it. So that's what I wrote, and I put it in my binder. Like I said, I printed out a bunch of these, whoops, and cut them out. And same with the pages. And I put them in my little page protector here so that they're all ready to go. sometimes just taking the time to prep, whether it's your daily 5 sheets or even these sheets, just having them done, because any little excuse that we can find to not do something, I won't do it. So take some time to do it, print it out. That could be your daily 5 create, by just printing things out, taking the time to trim them, put some washi tape on them, punch some holes, and then put them in here so that they're there for you to use. So that's what I have in my binder right now, are my daily 5 sheets, my surrender sheet, and then I started off my first sheet with trust. And I looked up the definition of trust, even though I know, like if one of my kids was to say, what does trust mean? Like I know what it means, but to put it into words sometimes, because I have so much going on up here, I can't just look. So I wrote down firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. So we can rely on, depend on, count on, believe in. And that's what trust is. So it's good to have the definition right in front of you. So that is what the word of this month is. I'm going to be out of town next week and the week after. So I'm going to today give you 3 verses. And actually, I'm probably going to give you other verses that refer to trust so that you can look them up, and you can write them down. You can write them down on those sheets. You can write them down in your binder. But I won't have videos and I won't have emails. And I've arm wrestled with this a little bit, but right now I am at max capacity as far as doing things that need to get done. And so I thought I'm just gonna push it all into here. I do have the emails of people that have raised their hand to be guests on Documented Faith during the week. And I really honestly just haven't gotten to answer them. And so I need to do that. That's on my list too. I think once July is over, then I'll be good. Until then, I must trust in the process, trust in my journey, trust in God, trust that what I'm doing is helping me, helping you, that the connections are being made with or without videos, with or without emails. And then one last thing that I just have been praying about, and I haven't made any decisions yet, are on the Facebook group. And this is the first time I'm really talking about this. Facebook is just not my favorite thing these days. I know that the group is growing and thriving, and I love seeing what you're sharing, and it's a great community for lots of people, and Lindy is doing a great job with moderating and doing kind of the day in, day out hourly work of making sure. But that was never my intent. I mean, I wanted a place for people to be able to share their work. But I just don't want to see people relying so heavily on me, depending on the group. I continue to post the weekly messages. Sometimes I pin them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes people see them, sometimes they don't. If they're checking on their phone versus on a laptop or a desktop, they're going to see one thing and not the other. And it's not that I don't care, but my prayer or my job is to work on the depth and to like provide you with a verse. That was always my intention with Documented Faith. So I'm working on the depth. I'm working on what I'm offering out, what I'm working on, hoping that you can take that and run with it. God's going to work on the width. I wrote a blog post a couple weeks ago, and I think I shared it. I'm not Lady Gaga. I am not Prince Harry or whoever. I can't reach the world the way others can, and I'm not basing my worth on how many followers or likers or friends or hearts or whatever I get. It's a tool for me, And sometimes I get a little sucked into the places on Facebook that I want it to be intentional. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So please don't feel bad if I don't like your thing or love your thing. I really try hard to get on there and like as much as I can, but I want you to find worth in what you're working on, the purpose of it, more than the production or the posting or the likes or comments, because it can be a really great tool for us, and it can be a really bad something. I don't even have the word for it. I think you might know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to like cut around the corners, and I don't want to go on too long about it, but I'm just not getting a good like warm and fuzzy feeling from Facebook these days. And so I wish everyone would open their emails. I send out a lot of emails, and I wish everyone would open that and just read that. That could be their Facebook. They don't always do that. I know our lives are full of junk mail in the mailbox and online. So I would just ask you to share what you're doing, share what you're learning, and that's the best we can do. So I hope that made sense, and I hope I didn't disrespect anyone, and I hope I didn't hurt anyone's feelings. It's just I'm not feeling a love for Facebook these days. Instagram is fun, it's quick. I feel like it's a tool where I can share. I know it's all, I'm not going to get into the technical part of it. Not everyone sees everything everyone shares, but I think that that's where we can't rely on the world. We need to trust and rely on God. So see how that went full circle? So I'm going to stop now because I need to type out the email and send it to you. So have a good weekend. Happy May. Don't forget there won't be a video or an email next week or the week after, because I'm going to give it all to you today. So have a great day, and I will see you soon.